Talley, and this is my story. I guess you could say as far as growing up goes, I was kind of in and out of church. It was more like every other weekend when I went to my mother's house, she would take me to something called Kids World, and it was literally like my favorite thing. One day, sitting in Kids World, we were singing this song, and I think the name's called Big Big House, and I was like, whoa, that house sounds pretty cool. Like, I want to go there one day. So I just kind of said, as like a little 6-year-old kid, like, hey God, let me come to your big, big house. Things really started to change as I got older and when I veered on into life and growing up. I actually was in the youth group that Brandon led. Immediately 6th grade year I was in there. After I had gone to church and around my sophomore year in high school, which is probably like the most crucial year in high school, that's when my family took turns for the worse. When that happened, I kind of just separated myself from Christ. Fast forward on into my life, my senior year of high school, I meet this guy, he's like wonderful, or so I thought, and I was in love, I guess you could say. He didn't really care about church, so I didn't care about church because I just really liked this guy. And I didn't go. I wouldn't go to church and didn't really care. Well, fast forward a little bit, he breaks up with me and life is awful. I go through a state of depression, and that's probably like the worst thing that ever happened. It was like my all-time low. And I had one of my real close friends, Victoria. She was growing in faith at the time I was losing it, and she reached out to me every day. And she actually made me get this app called She Reads the Truth. And one of the Bible studies had Esther 4:14 written in it, and it said, perhaps this is the moment you were created for. And I knew right then and there that my life was about to change, and I was about to become a new person. As she moved off to college, it became a lot harder for me to stay into Christ because she was gone. But one day on Facebook, I was just scrolling through my feed, and I saw something pop up, and I see a whole bunch of my friends and photos on the Ledger Inquirer page, and a whole bunch of my friends being tagged in something called Second Story, and I had no idea what that was about or anything. And I click on it and I read it, and it says all this amazing stuff about a college ministry, and I was like, wow, this is exactly what I need right now at this moment. So I texted one of my friends, Brooke, and she just so happened to be at Second Story the moment I texted her, and she told me to come up to Second Story, and from there, this is where my story began. From the moment I started coming to Second Story, I became so involved. I dwelled in this place, I fed into this place, and I wanted nothing more than to be the biggest part of this place if possible. There's people here that I trust more than anything in the world, and I can tell them anything in the world, and it's just amazing to have such a great support system behind you and everything like that. Through every Bible study, through every worship service, through anything we do, even just the fun stuff, even if God's not even mentioned, I feel His presence in this building every time. My name is Talley, and this is my second story.